Every mother wants to protect her child. Some buy helmets, some wrap them in bubble wrap, some worry every time their kid walks out the door. But what if you were a goddess? What if you actually had the power to make your child invincible? That is exactly what Thetis did. She was a sea goddess, and when her son was born, a boy who would one day become the greatest warrior the world had ever seen, she made a decision. My son will not die in battle. My son will not be touched by any weapon. My son will be immortal. She took the infant to the River Styx, the river of the underworld, the river whose waters were said to make anything they touched impervious to harm. She held him by one heel, and she dipped him in, his entire body invincible, every inch of skin, every muscle, every bone, except one small patch of skin on the back of his left foot, the place where her fingers were. She never thought about it. She was too focused on saving him. She never imagined that one tiny overlooked spot smaller than the palm of her hand would one day end everything. His name was Achilles, and this is his story. Achilles did not have a normal childhood. His father Peleus was the mortal king of the Myrmidons, a people famous across Greece for being ferocious, fearless soldiers. His mother Thetis was a sea goddess who loved her son so intensely that she spent his entire childhood trying to prevent the one thing she could not stop: his death. A prophecy had been given. Achilles would either live a long, quiet, forgotten life, or he would die young in battle and be remembered forever. Thetis did everything she could to make sure the prophecy never came true. She sent him away to be raised by a centaur, a half-man, half-horse creature named Chiron, who taught him medicine, music, and the art of war. She hid him on an island, dressed as a girl, when the Greeks started recruiting for the Trojan War. She called in every favor she had with the gods to keep him safe. None of it worked, because Achilles was not built for a quiet life. He was built for war. He knew it. His body knew it. The moment a Greek general placed weapons in front of him, even while he was disguised, he could not stop himself from reaching for them. He was recruited. He was going to Troy, and the prophecy began its slow walk toward him. The Trojan War had been going on for years. 10 years of Greeks camped outside the walls of Troy. 10 years of fighting. 10 years of death on both sides. Neither army could break the other. But when Achilles fought, everything changed. He was not just strong. He was terrifyingly fast. He was relentless. He had been trained since childhood by a creature who was half animal, and it showed. His battle cry alone was said to make enemy soldiers freeze in place. When he entered the battlefield, the entire energy of the fight shifted. He took 12 cities during the siege of Troy. Not just fought in them, took them. By himself, with his Myrmidon warriors behind him. But here is the thing about Achilles that nobody talks about enough. He was not just rage and violence. He played music in his tent at night. He sang. He loved his best friend Patroclus with a loyalty that went beyond anything the battlefield could produce. He was capable of a tenderness that surprised everyone who expected only brutality. That tenderness is what eventually destroyed him. In the 10th year of the war, Achilles had a fight with the Greek commander Agamemnon. Agamemnon had taken something that belonged to Achilles, a woman who had been given to him as a prize of war. Agamemnon needed her back for complicated reasons involving an angry god, but instead of asking respectfully, he simply took her. Achilles was furious, not just about the woman, about the disrespect, about being treated like a servant by a man who could not survive a single day on the battlefield without him. He made a decision. He walked back to his tent, sat down, and refused to fight. The Greeks immediately started losing. Troy's army pushed them back to the ships. Men died by the hundreds. Agamemnon sent messengers to beg Achilles to return, offered him treasure, honor, apologies. Achilles refused every single time. His best friend Patroclus watched all of this, and he could not stand it anymore. Patroclus came to Achilles with a request. "If you will not fight, let me go. Let me wear your armor. Let the Trojans think Achilles has returned to the field. It will terrify them. It will give our men a chance to breathe." Achilles agreed, but he made Patroclus promise one thing: do not go near the walls of Troy. Push them back, then come back. Patroclus promised. He put on the armor. He walked out. The effect was immediate. The Trojans saw what they thought was Achilles, and panic moved through their ranks like a wave. The Greeks surged forward. Patroclus fought brilliantly, and then he forgot the promise. Carried away by the momentum of battle, he pushed too far, all the way to the walls of Troy. 3 times he tried to climb them. 3 times a god pushed him back down, and then Hector found him. Hector, the greatest warrior Troy had, the crown prince, the man his entire city depended on, fought Patroclus and killed him. He stripped the armor, Achilles' armor, from his body and put it on himself. When the news reached Achilles, he collapsed. He fell to the ground and screamed. He tore at his own hair. He poured dirt over his head the way mourners did in grief. His mother heard him from the bottom of the sea and came to him. He told her he was going back to fight. She begged him not to. She knew what it meant. If he killed Hector, his own death would follow soon after. He looked at her and said something that has echoed through 3,000 years of human history: "Then let me die." Achilles went back to war. He was given new armor forged by Hephaestus, the god of the forge, at his mother's request. Divine armor, for a man who was already nearly divine. What happened next was not a battle. It was a reckoning. Hector stood outside the gates of Troy and waited. His parents watched from the walls above his father Priam, his mother Hecuba begging him to come inside. He refused. He had killed Patroclus wearing Achilles' armor. He would face the consequences. When Achilles appeared, Hector ran, not out of cowardice, out of a sudden, terrifying understanding of what was coming. They chased each other around the walls of Troy 3 full times while the entire city watched from above. Then Hector stopped, turned around, and faced him. The fight did not last long. Achilles drove his spear into Hector's throat. What he did next was the darkest moment of his story. He tied Hector's body to the back of his chariot by the heels and dragged it around the walls of Troy, again and again, while Hector's wife and mother watched from above. This was not victory. This was a man who had lost his best friend and did not know what to do with the grief except turn it into something terrible. Then an old man came to his tent at night. King Priam, 80 years old, the father of Hector. He had crossed enemy lines alone in the dark to reach Achilles. He knelt in front of the man who had killed his son and asked for the body back. He asked Achilles to think of his own father, an old man somewhere, waiting for a son who might not come home. Achilles wept. He gave the body back. He promised a truce for the funeral. It was the most human moment in the entire war. And then came the arrow. Paris, Hector's younger brother, was not a warrior. He was an archer. He could not face Achilles in combat, so he did not try. He waited. He aimed. And the god Apollo guided the arrow to the one place on Achilles' body that no one had ever needed to protect before. The back of his heel, where his mother's fingers had been, where the water of the Styx had never touched. Achilles died on the spot, still undefeated in actual combat, never beaten by any man who faced him directly. Killed by an arrow from a man hiding at a distance, aimed at the one spot his mother had accidentally left unprotected when she had tried so hard to keep him safe. She had held him so tightly. She had given everything she had to protect him, and the one place she forgot to place her own hand covered was the place that ended him. 3,000 years later, we still use his name for that. When someone has one weakness in an otherwise unbreakable life, we call it their Achilles heel, because some stories are so true they never stop being told.